All right, I am joined by Sam, Director of Sales and Marketing at the soon-to-open Nobu Hotel, London, Portman Square. How are you?
Very well, very well. Thanks for having me here. Good to speak.
You bet. So how have you been past few months?
Uh, um, yeah, I've been really good. I've been really good. It's a crazy world we're living in at the moment, but it's an interesting one. It's certainly keeping me busy. I've done a few hotel openings now, and opening a hotel midst pandemic was never on my bucket list, but here we are, and I'm doing it. So it's been a bit of a crazy time. I think the biggest thing is, kind of having to change things depending on what the government's telling you and depending on what is happening with the build and all that kind of stuff, and just having to be very versatile, flexible, and kind of go with the flow. But it teaches you to embrace change, that's for sure. So
this is gonna look really good on your resume.
yeah. If I survive it for another job, then yeah, sure.
Yeah, you got it. You got this. So, word on the street is Nobu has a new app.
Yes.
Why don't you tell us about that?
Well, I mean, we recognised fairly early on that we're moving into even more of a digital age, I would say. So I think clients, guests, they're going to want less touch points in some areas, and we need to be able to give the ability to kind of be served your way. So we don't dictate whether it's low touch point or high touch point. We give you the option so that you can have it either way. And I think for me, that's luxury. So yes, we began working on an app fairly early on in the whole pandemic. We're working with an amazing company called Allianz, and they're developing our app for us. So they actually developed the app with Four Seasons. And actually, I had experienced this app completely separately last year, and was just blown away by it, by its usability, by how easy it made my stay at the Four Seasons, which was actually at Sydney at that time. And so we knew that that's something that we needed to do, especially with the amount of tech that there is in the hotel world, and potentially the amount of consolidation that needs to happen with tech. We knew that we wanted something that could house as much as possible, so you didn't have to go to lots of different places. With the rise of QR codes, we didn't want 1,000 QR codes around the hotel, so that you had to scan one for one thing and scan another for another. We wanted everything in one place, so we began working on that, and the functionality is phenomenal. It really essentially allows you to be in your taxi from Heathrow and check into your hotel, get your key card. If you want to bypass reception, you can order room service through the app, speak to the team through the app. It really does kind of do everything. You can book your tables and all that sort of stuff. We don't want to completely eliminate that human touch. I think that's what people often come to hotels for, depending on their stay. But certainly for the business travel side of things, I think it's going to make things a lot easier. So yeah, it's exciting times. There's still a lot of work to do, like there always is. But it essentially allows us to kind of give you a service level that suits you. So it's well worth the investment.
Are you able to push notifications and things like that out to the guests, like on property?
We are, yeah. And actually, when you're not on property, more importantly. So we don't want this to just be an app for whilst you're staying. And we all know about app lethargy and how people delete as soon as they leave. We're kind of developing it in a way that actually it's worthwhile you keeping this app whilst you're not on property. We actually want it to be something for the local community as well. So one of our really sort of strong content pillars is the community and how we support them. So you could be working at a local company next door on Portman Square, you've got the app, and actually you can book your table as you're walking over, or you can book Nobu to take away. So for us, the app download is really important because of exactly that. We can then push out notifications to say new promotion in the bar today, 10% off, or 2 for 1, or whatever we decide to do on the day. And that gives us huge marketing power to a much more engaged audience, because if you've already downloaded the app, chances are you've already experienced things with us, whether it's a stay or a drink in the bar or dinner in the restaurant, which means that we're communicating to a really engaged audience. So we'd like to think that utilizing those push notifications is really going to help us, but certainly more over than most other kind of tools in the sales funnel, that's for sure.
Yeah, perfect. So everything's on schedule for opening?
Sure.
Good answer. Good answer.
I think we're like swans in hotels, aren't we? It's all very graceful and calm on top, but there's the legs running. Put it this way, the little legs are running at the moment.
Little legs are running.
But no, we're on track. There's lots of curveballs that we're being served at the moment, externally and internally, and that's half the fun of opening a hotel. We're on track. We're going to open on the 9th of November. We weighed this up for a long time. I've gone from opening a hotel and positioning it in a market where there was 3 or 4 other hotel openings in London, and now we've got 300 or 400. So it's a competitive market out there, and by the same token, we all kind of want to be there for each other as well. So, but we did weigh it up to say, actually, it's going to be worth it for us, even though we're not looking at particularly high occupancy figures. We're not looking at particularly, full restaurants. But what we are doing is saying we're going to position for the future, and certainly for 21, so that we're ready. We already have, our marketing activations started. We already have our sales funnel started, and we can get more exposure out into the world. So yeah, it's a tough decision, but we're very lucky to have incredible owners and incredible stakeholders, and supported by Nobu and London and Regional, who actually own the business, and they're supporting us with that. So yeah, we're good. We just have to, maybe it might be me carrying plates after my 9 to 5 in the office. I'll go upstairs and carry plates, and you know what? That's what we do. So we're all hoteliers at heart.
Yeah. So with the time remaining, any advice for the hoteliers continuing to go through this pandemic?
I would just say forge on. Understand that the world has changed, and I think is a conversation that I'm having a lot at the moment, which is, people wanting to do the same thing that we did even in Q1 this year, and actually a lot of the time it's not working. We need to change, and we need to adapt. I hate the word pivot because everyone says pivot, but essentially we need to change and adapt. And actually some of the things that we thought worked in the past is not going to work now. And I'm really lucky to have a very creative team that are coming up with ways that, for example, we can communicate with sales clients, where normally we'd jump on a plane and we'd go over and see them. Well, we can't do that anymore. And I would say harness creativity for me is the biggest thing. Make sure that everyone's thinking as left field as possible, because ultimately it's those people that are going to actually be able to forge ahead in this current environment. So harness creativity, try it. If it doesn't work, no worries, move on, but just try it.
All right. Well, thank you for joining me, Sam.
Pleasure. Absolute pleasure. I'll speak to you soon, Jason.
The best.
Thank you.